Stage fright. Imagine for a moment that you could overcome and conquer stage fright. How much better would you be on stage and in presentations and in interviews and conversations, in life itself? Well, I'm going to share with you 6 secrets that you can use immediately to overcome and conquer stage fright. Hi, it's Timothy Hyde here from ExpertMC.com. You know, I've been on stage literally thousands of times over the last 50 years. I've had a career in acting, in stand-up comedy, in magic, in professional speaking, and in MC work. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. I still get nervous. But I've developed a bunch of tricks that I use to help me become more comfortable on stage, and I'm going to share them with you. But before I do, a quick welcome to any new viewers. Hey, you might consider subscribing to the channel down below so you don't miss out. We tend to publish weekly and it would be great to have you along with us. Okay, 6 ideas that you can use immediately. Number 6 is to shift the focus from you to the audience. Don't focus on you so much. It's the first rule of MC work. It's not about you. So in your planning and in your preparation, try and shift the focus from you to the audience. Ask yourself these questions. Why are you going on stage? What's your role at that moment? How are you helping the audience? What's the benefit to the audience? And if these are your underlying thoughts, rather than me messing up, me, everybody hating me, me mumbling my words, etc., it is going to be so much better. A little trick that some people use if they're really nervous about going on stage is not to practice in front of a mirror, because that just accentuates that problem that they're looking at themselves there, and it doesn't help at all. So you could try that one as well. Strategy number 5, don't awfulize. Awfulizing is concentrating and spending all your energy looking at the worst possible outcomes rather than the good things. And I used to do this all the time, and not just about being on stage, but in travel, for instance. I'd think, what if the plane's delayed, or we get diverted, or my bags don't turn up? What happens if the hotel hasn't got my booking? And you spend so much energy on that. And then on stage you think, what if they don't like me? What if I faint on stage? What if I forget to put my trousers on? Now, 99% of the time these things do not happen, so why spend so much time thinking about them? Before you go on, a few deep breaths to help you relax. Restrict your caffeine and alcohol. But most importantly, learn to recognize when you start awfulizing, when you focus on the worst possible outcome. And once you recognize that, you've taken a giant step towards conquering your stage fright. Tip number 4 is the danger of aiming for perfection. Sometimes we beat ourselves up about being absolutely word perfect, and that fear grows about stumbling on just one word. Rather, you should aim to be comfortable with what you're trying to say and the reason that you're up there on stage. And one great thing to do is to have a nice firm structure. I have a structure for all of these videos that you've probably noticed. Speakers have a structure for their keynotes, a short, sharp, snappy opener, then they make a point, then they illustrate that point with a story or a joke or a quote, then they'll make another point, then they'll illustrate that point, continue that on, a bit of a call to action at the end, and then a close. And as MCs, it's great to have a little structure as well. I've talked about a structure for introducing people before. Why this topic? Why this speaker? And why now? Hey, you can check out that video. It's a very popular one on making great introductions, and I'll put a link to it up there. So don't try and be perfect. Try and be comfortable. Tip number 3 is to treat the audience as individuals. A lot of people I speak to who say they get stage fright say they're perfectly happy talking one-on-one, but when they get on stage, that's when the knees go to jelly and the heart starts pounding. So my advice there is to talk to the audience as individuals. Talk to one person out there and then shift your focus to another person and then to another person and slowly work your way through the room. Now, my pro tip is to meet as many people as you can when they're coming in. This is great for MCs and also for speakers. Just introduce yourself to people. And then when you're on stage, you can look around and seek out those people. These people become your rocks. Speak to them. I learnt this from my stand-up comedy days when you're working in a room and everything's going wrong. Nobody's laughing at your jokes. And what you do then is you find the one person who's probably liking it a little bit more than the others, who may be smiling or nodding. Focus on them. And then the two people on either side of them. And then you try and win over that table that they're sitting at. And then you spread it out a little bit and win that corner of the room. And slowly, piece by piece, you can actually conquer the whole room. So, if you're nervous about speaking to a whole group of people, focus on the individuals. Technique number 2 is to use visualization. Visualization is a technique used by many successful sports people when they calmly sit and they go through in their mind what they're going to attempt, and they see themselves successfully completing the difficult golf shot, clearing the high jump bar at a new level. And we can use this technique too. So you sit and you calmly think about and picture yourself being on stage and delivering the material and being comfortable up there. And you visualize the audience nodding and smiling because they've gained benefit from it and applauding at all the right points. Now you can slip this visualization technique into your morning ritual, which I highly recommend. And if you want to know more about the morning ritual that I recommend, have a look at the video. We did a whole video on this, or I'll put a link to it in the description below. But use visualization techniques. Before I give you technique number 1, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so you don't miss out on future episodes. And if you've gained any benefit from this, hit the like button. And if I get enough likes, I will make a follow-up video with some more advanced techniques. But idea number 1, technique number 1 is to embrace your stage fright. Folks, stage fright is a perfectly natural phenomenon. We human beings are hardwired in unnatural or new situations or possibly dangerous situations. We're hardwired, our heart will start to pump faster and our nerves will get slightly twitchy. It is perfectly natural. My suggestion to you is to embrace that. Look out for those signs, and when they start to happen, think to yourself, good. That is exactly what should be happening at this point. I get worried if I don't get nervous. I think to myself, I'm getting complacent. I don't care about this event. So learn to love your stage fright, and then you can conquer it. Folks, that's all I've got time for in this video. There's a couple more coming up in a moment, or I will see you in a week's time. My name's Timothy Hyde from ExpertMC.com.